What's up, my pungios? Andy Vlogs. Excited to share with you guys this content here. As the title suggests, we're going to be doing an in-depth review of both the GoPro Hero 9 and the GoPro Hero 10. 10 was just released. I just got it, as you can see, and now we've made this abomination, which isn't too bad. We're going to be reviewing the camera in detail, in depth, all the different settings, all the different things that are different from the two different devices. I'm going to be using a whole myriad of different accessories to attach it to myself, to place it all throughout. Everything is going to be outputted to 4K 60. We're going to be doing side-by-side comparison of the differences between Hyper Smooth 3.0 and 4.0, Time Warp 2.0, 3.0. We're going to go through it all. We're going to show you burst photo. We're going to show you live photo. We're going to show you the differences in all of the different settings and all of the user interfaces. We went over a bunch of different accessories that you guys can check out in the links up above in the cards or down below in the description, or you can check out individual videos there in the playlist. Nonetheless, at the time of shooting this, the Max Lens Mod is not available for the GoPro Hero 10. You can attach it. It's got the interface to place the button. However, as you've seen, it says that an update will be coming shortly to enable this. I don't know what that means, honestly. I don't know why they weren't able to do it, because it seems as if the 9 and the 10 are just kind of a clone of each other, less the new GP processor for the 10. Other than that, we will be showing the Max Lens Mod off on the 9 compared to the 10. 10 can't do it. With that said, folks, links down below in the description for all of these products that we talk about. It does help out the channel here. A couple of the products here that I'm going to be using were provided to me complimentary. The shoulder mount, some of the batteries that I'm talking about were provided. Nonetheless, GoPro did not hire me. None of these other companies reached out to sponsor this video, but you know where my bias is as well. With that said, let's go ahead and look at first the two products, their ergonomics. Let's go over their screens and the interfaces inside of it, and then let's go ahead and shoot the video. Now that we've gone over all the interfaces and showed you all the different settings, let's go ahead and jump right into the video comparison. Okay, so for the visual comparison, we're not going to go through any of the camera comparison. I can already tell that it feels like the 10 is a little bit smaller, but I can imagine that they're using the same chassis. I think, to be honest, it's the exact same device. I mean, I don't know how else to compare this guy, but you're getting the same cosmetic look. I think they changed the lens a little bit. You can kind of tell that it's a little bit different. The GoPro 9 is a little more shiny, and the material is a little bit different plastic. You've also got the hydrophobic lens here on the front. Speaker grill is about the same. Again, the color punch out for, you know, the branding is the exact same. This is a pretty much identical product. Startup is very smooth for both of them. I feel like both of them are very smooth. As far as the playback for the screens, I feel like there's some choppiness of the front-facing screen on the 10. As you can see, they're both in landscape mode. And I mean, I've got like a 1-to-1 no latency on the 10, whereas the 9 there's significant latency. It looks like the lens profile on the 9 as opposed to the 10 is a little bit different. I'm getting a brighter feel here. It feels like the screen itself has more contrast on the 10 as opposed to the contrast on the 9. I'm gonna go ahead now and weigh them. I like to do this with my products. I've got my little scale here. It says 5.6 ounces. This is the GoPro 9. Let's go ahead and swap it to the 10. 5.4 ounces. So it is 0.2 ounces lighter with the battery pack in. And I think that's really interesting. That's interesting how they were to cut it like 1% in the weight. Now that we've gone over all the interfaces and showed you all the different settings, let's go ahead and jump right into the video comparison. Okay, pungios, so we've got it side by side bifurcated. I've got the GoPro Hero 9 on this side, GoPro Hero 10 on this side. We've got it 4K 60. That's going to be what I'm going to be exporting this whole thing as. Up-resing some of my earlier footage, but all this footage is 4K 60. I will be shooting 5.3K and 5K respectively. We'll go through all of the different lenses as well. Both of them are on Super View. Both of them are on regular standard bitrate. I've got the color profile set on the GoPro 10 to natural and the GoPro set to GoPro. They changed that a little bit, which is kind of cool. I like that. And then as far as the setup goes, you can see here on my phone, I've got it set up on the 3-way 2.0. Let's go ahead and walk around and see what that looks like for you guys. Okay, Hyper Smooth Boost is on for both of them. I'm literally just gonna walk around my neighborhood and my backyard, and you guys can see I'm really not trying to be steady with this and just holding it out as best I can, but it's a very, very stable situation. I don't notice much of a difference between the two, at least from recording, because I know that Hyper Smooth is 4.0 on the 10 and 3.0 on the 9, but they look very similar to me, at least I think, as I can tell. Low light is pretty good. I mean, it's the contrast I put on medium for both of them, and I'm able to get a pretty good, I don't know, pretty good view here. It's not the best. It seems like the lens on both of them are the same. Let's go around my neighborhood. The screen shuts off on the GoPro Hero 10 with an instant. I just have to go into the settings and adjust that. But I think it looks pretty good nonetheless. Why don't we do the good old selfie? Again, you can tell that it's punched in on the 9 as opposed to the 10, which I think is really big. That's actually really crucial. I'm holding this up as best I can, as far out as I can, and the super view gives you, I think, the best view when you're out and about and exercising or wanting to shoot extreme sports. Okay, now I've switched both of them to wide, but I just realized when I was in the settings here in between those two shots that the GoPro Hero 9 actually can't do super view with 4K 60. I had no idea. However, the GoPro Hero 10 can do super view 4K 60. That's why you saw the punch in. That makes total sense. With that said, I've got both of them on Hyper Smooth Boost. That's always the best in my opinion. It does crop in a little bit, but if you were to put that on high hyper view or whatever, you'd get a little bit more wide angle, but I like the boost because of how steady it is. Here is the sun right in the face. You can see that on both cameras when you have the camera directed at sunlight, that they're both about able to get my face in view while there is still, you know, a lot of darkness on my face. But it still seems like the contrast, the vibrance is pretty good. Both these cameras have a decent enough of a battery low. Cut off, dang it. Okay, a few observations here when I was switching to 5K. The GoPro, dang it. Okay, so I'm now only on the GoPro 9 because I killed the battery on the GoPro 10. I need to go charge them and come back here a little bit later. But a few things that I noticed as far as observation, when I was going into the 5K mode on the GoPro Hero 9, you can tell that it only goes to 30 frames a second, and it only allows me to go wide. So I can't do a super view. On the GoPro Hero 10, when I went into it, there was a little bit of footage that you saw there, however, it died. But I was able to do 5.3K at 60 frames a second, but not super view. So it looks like super view is not gonna be something that you can do on 5K, just like you couldn't do it on the 9. As you can see, we're in 5K on the respective sides. On the GoPro 9, it's only 30 frames a second, as opposed to 60 on the 10. Showing you guys the playback here of the screen itself as I'm walking. You can see that the GoPro on the 10 is so much more clean as opposed to the GoPro 9. That playback screen is so much more choppy. On the back side here, you do get a clean viewfinder as you're viewing it from both sides. We're gonna do the horizon leveling right now. I've got this stretched out as far as I can on my hand, and so you can kind of see if I bring it closer, it chops my head off. I don't really like that with the linear horizon leveling setting. But nonetheless, if I can hold this out as far as I can, you should be able to get a level horizon as I'm kicking, as I'm going on my skateboard. I think this is a good representation of this feature on both of the devices. Okay, now we're on horizon leveling 4K 60. As you can see, I'm feeling like the GoPro 10 doesn't punch in as much as the 9. So you can already tell that the sensor is doing its job and the processor is able to process it faster and better, so that the software doesn't have to punch in so much. So we'll go and do that same thing where I kind of kick around with horizon leveling and show you what that looks like on the different, and then we'll go into the time lapse, and then we'll go into time warp. So here I'm just generally kicking. You can hear that there is a lot of wind and a lot of sound, but I'm still able to kind of pick up my voice pretty good. I'm kind of moving about here and shaking with my hand, but it's keeping that horizon very level. The GoPro 9 is not getting as much of a wide angle as the 10. That's what I would appreciate more, be able to get a wider angle on that. Here's hard kicking. So I need to walk back up the hill, and I figured I would do time warp for that. Right now I haven't hit record yet, but I wanted to tell you what the settings were. As far as time warp, you can only do 4K, and the duration goes all the way up to 30 minutes, and then auto. I usually do auto. I like to do that, or 5X. That's the typical walking or bike riding speed that is reasonable. One thing to note on the time warp, you cannot do super view or super wide. You can only do wide, and that's for the GoPro 9 and the GoPro 10. So let's go ahead and walk back up the hill and show you what that looks like. Okay, so we've got the time warp on, and I've got real speed ramp. So I'm gonna real speed ramp right now and show you what that looks like. Speed ramp, you can slow down and check out the fauna. These are weeds. But that's what I really like about speed ramp. I'm not noticing anything different with time warp. It seems like they're pretty comparable. But time warp 4.0 is supposed to be pretty nice. Have a look at, again, the fauna. Dandelions. That's what I really like about this speed ramp. You have so much versatility when you can stop and slow it down, chat with the cam, and then pick it back up. But we're pretty much here at the top of the hill where I'm at. I'm back at home. After looking at the footage there, I noticed that the variable speeds are different. So the GoPro 9 actually ran it longer at 2 minutes and 7 seconds, whereas the GoPro 10 did it in 1 minute and 59 seconds. So it was about 10 seconds quicker. And that's because I think with the putting on the auto feature for time warp, it then told each camera to decide then what to do. I will do another time warp where I do set both of them to 5X, so you can see. One thing I've noticed in shooting 5.3K 60, it eats the battery. I had it on horizon lock on both of them. Both of them were filled, and the GoPro 9 is significantly more charged than the GoPro 10. So just note that when you're encoding in that really high frame rate, 60, 5.3K, that you're going to be using way more battery. So just note that. One thing that I really appreciate now that I'm getting ready to go on my hyperlapse run is that when I put the settings in for whatever, shooting style that I want to shoot, it tells me the estimated battery life in that specific setting. So right now I've got like 17% on this 5.3K 60. However, when I change over to time warp and do 4K at 5X, I've almost got half the battery left. So you know that 5.3K is just a battery hog. Okay, I'm on my bike now, as you can see. We're gonna head over to the grocery store, get some groceries. I'm using Okay, right now I'm shooting on the GoPro Hero 8 with the media mod on, connected to my handlebars. On the chest, as you can see, I've got the 10 and 9. A few things to note: this is going to be a hyper smooth boost comparison. So you're going to see not only 10.9 and you'll also see 8. So you're going to see hyper smooth 2.0, hyper smooth 3.0, hyper smooth 4.0. With that said, let's go ahead and let's have some fun. Audio from all of the devices are terrible except probably the media mod on the 8 because it's directional. Nonetheless, I'm going to be, pedaling very hard, as well as engaging the throttle on the e-bike and going fast through these little trails around my house. And you can tell, there is a substantial difference with the iPhone, with the GoPro 10. The GoPro 10's got that wider field of view. You can see the horizon better, and you can see that it is definitely trying to, through the software, it's trying to certainly keep it smooth. Now, there is no horizon lock, so you will see the horizon move on occasion, but I think, when it comes down to it, it's just a better experience on the 10 for sure. I mean, if you're on the 8, it's absolutely a must. You should definitely be changing to the 10 just because of the 4K 60 at super view, super wide. Alright, now this bike isn't necessarily an all-terrain bike, but there is a dirt little trail here that will make for some significant wobbling, which I think would be good for a comparison video. So let's head over there right now. Oh man, that pedal assist is terrific. It's really helping me up this trail. That was great. out as Daredevil to go off these jumps, but just to show you that when you're riding on your bike, the hyper smooth boost does give you some serious smoothness. On the 8, however, it's significantly less. I mean, I can feel the GoPro just rattling on my chest. You get some serious shaking when I go over these bumps, and that'll show you how good the hyper smooth is if it's able to show you that it can go above it and not shake so much. All right, so I made it past there. There was a big old truck that was doing some construction work on the trail there, so I wasn't able to go all the way up, but you got a good feel of the difference between the 3 devices here. I mean, I would say that the clear winner is GoPro 10. Obviously, when I was going over those bumps, I could feel it like up and down go like that, and I think looking back at the footage, you guys can clearly see it. Obviously, from my perspective right now, I can't see it, but nonetheless, when you side by sides it looks great. With that said, guys, hopefully this helps you determine what your choice is here. If you're looking to upgrade from a 5, from a 6, even all the way up to an 8, I think it's a no-brainer that you should get the 10. As far as a 9 to a 10, it's up to you. I did it. I think it's great. Having a side-by-side is a good idea, but if you're going to be doing any kind of extreme sports or whatnot, or cruising on your electric bike here, it's probably a good idea to get the GoPro 10. Okay, lastly here, I wanted to show a comparison of the photo feature. I'm going to take a couple of shots, but I mean, let's be honest, we're not using the GoPro for photo, honestly. I've got both of them set to wide, super photo, zoom at 1x, timer off. We're going to take both shots. I mean, let's do that again. I mean, that is completely obvious. Super photo on the GoPro 10 processed probably 3 times faster than the 9. That was crazy. Now we're gonna do burst on both of them. I set them at different times, so one caught the trash can and one missed it. But you can see that there were a number of different photos. All right, my Pungios, well, that about does it. That was way long, but so much fun. I love going out and making these videos here. So if you like this content, guys, please consider supporting by hitting that subscribe button, checking out the links down below in the description, deciding which one for you is best. All those accessories as well help out the channel. You do know that a few of the products that I featured today were given to me complimentary, like the third-party batteries from Vemico and the NICEYRIG shoulder strap mount. Those were products that were given to me. However, the other products I purchased myself, and this is not a sponsored video itself. With that said, guys, let me know what you think down below in the description. Do you think the 9 is better than the 10? Do you think the 10 is worth it? Do you think it's just such an incremental increase that the interface is faster is worth it? Not having the Max Lens Mod is a deterrent for me, at least. However, I'm going to keep this. I'm really excited. With that said, folks, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know down in the comments if this was helpful to you. Other than that, we'll see you on the next one.